This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Rachel Consultant standing by, caller 9844999. Olo will play Profile this in minutes. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, according to the annual rankings from Orkin, the worst cities for bed bugs are...
Oh, boy.
Baltimore.
Damn, man.
D.C.
And Philly.
Chicago, L.A., and Columbus, Ohio.
I figured it was all in the same area.
What's going on
Columbus.
with that? I mean, Baltimore and D.C. are, 39 miles apart, I believe?
Yeah,
What the hell is going on with the bed bugs, though?
That doesn't shock me.
Really? Dude, honest to God, like, bed bugs broke out, what was it, New York City about 10 years ago, right? And up until then, truthfully, I did not know the bed bugs were a real thing. I literally just thought it was something your parents said when they put you to bed as a kid. And had I known as a kid that they were being for real, I don't think I'd have slept well.
Well, and I'm trying to figure out what makes them the worst cities, just because there's more of them. So what are those cities doing or not doing that's creating more and more bed bugs?
I don't know, but Ted's from D.C., I'm from Baltimore. I will tell you this. The two cities, they have their little bit of rivalry, but basically they're the same place, right?
Yeah.
As far as people born and raised there, they're roughly the same people. So I don't know what they're doing, but you're right, Ted. In some way, it doesn't shock me.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know. Sometimes
dirty.
I just don't think... Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're both just ghetto-ass cities.
Every single person that we knew in Baltimore still lives in Baltimore.
Basically, yeah.
And it's 13, 14 years later. So I don't think... And they probably haven't moved.
Yeah, most of the people I grew up with in PG still live in PG.
And they haven't moved.
Right.
No. I mean, there's people in my family that, like, I joke around with, like, an uncle that's moved, and we're like, they're never moving.
Yeah, and
like,
you know it. Like,
their parents never moved.
Right.
They're never moving. And it's a major city, but...
They just don't leave.
Yeah,
and now they got bed bugs. It's time to go, man.
Wash your sheets, man.
You know what?
Doesn't explain Washington, but yes.
Yeah. A couple in England was recently reunited with their cat 15 years after it went missing.
Wow.
Are you sure it's your cat? at
That's
that point?
exactly what my first thought was.
I mean, like I have my cat at home now, all right? And I know my cat, but only because the cat is in my home. But I get the feeling if you switch them out, I might not notice until maybe the personality's different. But after 15 years, like, man, are you sure it's your cat?
Even if it is your cat, it's a different cat altogether after 15 years.
That's why I'm not
I mean,
that
he
happy
obviously
to see
doesn't
him.
want to live with you. He left for 15 years.
Right.
Does the cat remember you?
I'm sure it does, but there's a reason it left.
I mean, okay.
It didn't look for you for 15 years.
I mean, my sister's cat went missing years and years ago, but after about 6 months, my other sister came in and was like, I think I found the cat. And I went, really? After 6 months, you think you found the cat? We did. We kind of gave up looking at least 4 months ago.
I see pictures,
How
5
hard is
pictures a day or a week or so of a cat that looks like mine.
Yeah.
It's not mine, but I see it.
Yeah. Let's see here. A new study found that high doses of ibuprofen could be linked to infertility in men.
Yeah.
All right. The guys love that kind of thing.
Well, infertility is actually a worldwide problem at this point. It's getting worse and worse and worse.
Really?
I've heard that the sex drive of my generation is down.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Is part of that because of porn?
I think a lot of it is due to porn.
Like, I've just heard some things about people at a younger age just seeing... well, it's just tough. You see so many images. Like, It's hard to be with just one woman.
Well, and it's not just images, Ted, because everybody's had images for decades. I think it's
got one in my head right now.
I think it's because of how much you can explore with porn. In that industry, I mean, you can have the sickest fantasy possible, and you can find porn for it.
What's the sickest fantasy that you've had, Mike, that you've been able to find?
A woman laying in white rice covered in butter.
Yeah.
No, non-missionary sex. That's
Non-missionary
sex. Get out of here. Who does that?
Impossible.
Dirty people.
That's not a real thing.
That's what, filthy people do that.
There, the whole brony movement. There was a lot of them that were looking up porn for My Little Pony.
That everything's wrong with that statement.
That's right.
It really is.
Like, yeah, some of the titles, man.
I know.
Like, I know they're actors, but just the scenario, I can't click on the video.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's terrible.
I can't focus when you keep calling me daddy. It's just wrong.
You just ruined me like for the next week, Mike.
Yeah, or what? Yeah, all the step relative
Everything
stuff.
is step
Yeah, it's just
something.
like, God damn it, man. Like, that's an attractive actress. Can't she just be a random chick having sex on film?
No, she has to be your mommy, Ted.
I want to have sex with your stepmom. You should not want to have sex with your stepmom.
Yes.
Right.
Like,
Or
I
your
think that's
stepsister.
fair.
Or your stepfather, your stepbrother.
Step
your
any
uncle.
goddamn
Anything.
thing.
Anybody that in any way related to you. Damn it. There's a village in Portugal. We're going to get out of here. There's a village in Portugal where parents actually encourage their kids to smoke cigarettes as part of a weird tradition once every year.
What
Yeah,
is,
they're like 5 years old, aren't they?
I've seen a couple photos, and yeah, they're young kids.
Yeah,
What's
they're
the
like 8.
tradition? I mean, what are they celebrating?
It
What's-
says, I'm not working on it.
It's some religious thing. I don't know how the tobacco and the cigarettes got involved, but they did. So, like, the whole town, like, nobody cares. And it's not like a crazy...
It's an Eastern-based religion of just like tobacco, like healing or
Yeah, and I mean,
symbolizing
tobacco is a
something
massive,
or
like,
whatever.
right,
it
Sure.
is.
But it's. I think it would be like you maybe giving your kids a little bit of champagne and ginger ale.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So it's just like, right, it's not like they're smoking, but it just looks weird. It's like, that is a child.
And they
smoking
get
a
so great
cigarette.
Jack Daniels, Ted.
Yeah, my bad.
Come on. Not raising little candy asses.
Some idiot in California tried to run from the police on his ATV, that stands for all-terrain vehicle, and as soon as he took it off-road, he lost control, wrecked it, and they arrested him.
Almost all-terrain vehicle.
This is meant to go everywhere,
Right.
and you can't handle it off of a straight road.
You're a big ATV guy, right?
I am.
All right.
I love them, man. I take mine out to the sand, I take mine out to the trails, and they are really not that hard to handle out off the road.
What's the worst wreck you've been in?
I cracked a rib.
Ooh.
And got a little bit of a concussion. I went off of a jump wrong, landed on one tire, and it's not like I was diving, but it landed awkward, so it shook the ATV and it threw me off of it. I banged my head and landed on my chest and cracked my rib, and that was not fun.
And here you are making fun of this guy.
You'd be surprised the stats on those things.
You bet, man. Yeah, down where I go, I actually go down to Oregon, over on the coast, and they have a couple deaths every year out there because the dunes are constantly changing. That wind blows, and those hills that you remember having, yeah, they're in a different spot now. So people will be just riding, and they actually tell you you have to get a certain tinted color of glasses because in order to see the sand better. If not, it just looks like a blanket, and all of a sudden the ground drops out from underneath you.
Jesus.
I damn near flew off of a 30-foot cliff a couple of years ago.
That sounds fun, Mike.
Oh, it scared the
I
living
said it
hell out of me,
wasn't
man.
dangerous.
It's a family event.
I don't. You just tell us how undangerous. You just.
I'm not
told
saying
us,
how not dangerous it is. I said how easy it is to handle.
you almost went off a 30-foot cliff.
I did.
You cracked a rib after you landed on one tire.
I did, but I was jumping like an idiot.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Went off a jump.
Oh, by the way, Mike, as far as your porn categories, we make you reference.
damn.
One comment came in and said you should look for churning butt.
Churning butter. Oh, yeah.
Thought you'd appreciate that.
Almost done.
Is it just like a naked lady churning butter?
Yeah. Oh, baby. Don't think that never happened.
Is that a pot of rice next to her?
Oh, hell yeah, baby. I love it when
God.
you're naked churning butter.
Are you into butter play?
They call me Butterfingers. It ain't the candy bar, mama.
Today I'm Bart Simpson.
Parts of the Sahara Desert in Africa got several inches of snow earlier this week, and the photos of it are pretty cool. It's rare, but it's happened before, and all the snow melted within about an hour and a half.
It's happened 3 times in 40 years. In Australia, the bats are boiling inside their body in Melbourne. I'm reading an
I saw
article
that,
right
man.
now. They can't cool their body down, so basically they found like 400 bats. It was 117 degrees. They can't get cool. They can't get dehydrated. They are black, so they're taking in all the sun. There's no shade. So when the scientists went up to them, they're basically like, oh, man, these things are screaming, but they're cooking internally. Jeez. Good times.
Good time.
A woman in
times.
North Carolina decided to make the best out of a bad situation and used her mugshot to help her professional life.
Yeah, that's generally
How'd
how
you
it
do
works.
that?
I'll tell you all about it 1 hour from now.
Thank you, Mike Hawk. Headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, the game is...
The Men's Room presents Profile
Hey,
This.
Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Lauren. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola!
Hola! All right, Lauren, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, I do.
Fantastic. Here is your story. A 40-year-old guy was driving in Anderson, California at 1:45 a.m. on Tuesday, but he got lost. So he stopped his car, got out, and he asked some cops for directions. But a lot of things made them suspicious. For one, he asked for directions to a trailer park, but the streets he mentioned didn't actually intersect. Two, he parked his car in front of a hydrant. So they asked to search his car. He said, sure, okay. And they found 1.5 pounds of marijuana in the trunk and a loaded gun in the door. Turns out he was going to the trailer park for a drug deal. And he's also a felon, so it's illegal for him to have a gun. He was arrested on several charges, all because he thought it was a good idea to ask cops for directions to a drug deal. That's how his mind works. Do you believe that this genius is black, white, Mexi, or Asian?
So is that Anderson S-O-N or Anderson S-E-N?
S-O-N.
Not that it really matters.
I didn't know why you asked, but to be fair, it's S-O-N, Anderson.
All right, so drug deal, asked cops. Sounds kind of stupid. Makes me think white.
Where's that?
How much
Anderson,
weed was it?
California, and I don't know where in California
Anderson,
it is.
It's like, it was a lot of weed, right?
A pound and a half.
You got a pine.
Pretty good amount.
That's a decent amount of weed, sure.
I'm going to say Mexi or white. Trailer park.
That's exactly
You're
where
not,
I'm at.
but I would lean more white just because you're not afraid to go up and approach an officer.
Right.
You know,
That's
to me,
solid
that's always a
advice.
tell on being white, but I don't know. Trailer park is always a tell on being white, but again, he's not living there; he's delivering.
Right, just doing a drug deal.
Right.
Yeah,
He's doing a drug deal to the trailer park.
but you
That
have
is
to know
correct.
the people in the trailer park.
And then he asked the cop,
For directions to the trailer park, but the streets he named, they don't even intersect. So the cops are like, man, you're looking for two different places. But anyway, they searched his car. Yeah, found a loaded gun, but he's a felon, so he can't have one. And a pound and a half of
Right.
weed.
That guy didn't know his rights.
What do you think, Lauren?
I'm going to go with white.
Final answer.
Final answer.
All right, we'll find out if he was black, white, Mexi, or Asian next. Next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Profile this takes us to California and a weed dealer. Well, the cops didn't know he was a weed dealer, but he pulled up to get directions and asked a couple guys in a cop car, hey, how do I get to this place? And I guess his directions didn't make much sense. Something seemed off.
Well, one, he parked in front of a fire hydrant. And typically, if you break the law, the first thing you don't do is walk up to cops. Also, the two streets he asked for, like he thought it was an intersection. Like these streets aren't even close to each other. They asked to search his car, and he was like, sure, go ahead. In spite of the fact that he has a gun, he's a felon, has a gun in the car, and a pound and a half of weed. Like, that's when you say, hey, I'd really rather you didn't. But either way, he ended up getting busted. But, Lauren, we asked you, do you believe this guy was black, white, to make sure you're Asian? And you went white, which, to be dead honest with you, it seems like the most reasonable conclusion that a person could reach.
No.
Take another stab at it there, Ted.
I mean, I gotta go Mexi.
Asian?
Asian.
Asian.
Yeah, how about
Get
that?
outta
Mr. Chris
here.
Mang Lee. Yes, indeed.
Stop to
trailer
ask for directions.
Right. Look, if you're gonna,
right there,
you know
right,
it's
right
not
there.
black based on the fact that he voluntarily walked up to the cops, right?
All right, now for all the TV news all the time, and it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon!
the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Do you want to be annoyed first?
Sure.
All right, let's start with the annoying thing right out of the gate. I'm excited about it. So, you guys all know Steph Curry, correct?
Yes.
Steph Curry, for those of you that don't know, basketball player, plays for the Golden State Warriors, basically can shoot a jump shot from anywhere on the court.
Probably the purest shooter in the history of basketball.
Or you might know him as the black redhead.
Yeah, he does kind of have some freckles.
I would think Blake Griffith gets out.
Yeah, you know what? Right, Blake Griffin. He definitely has that. Never mind. Griffin, yeah.
But Blake Griffin's mixed, right?
He's still redheaded.
Still redhead, man. Still looks weird.
Yeah, I used to
So-
work with a black dude that had red hair and freckles.
What do they call him? He had to have a nickname. Look, in the black community, I'm telling you right now, if you look different at all, you get a nickname.
I don't think I could repeat him. He was not a respected
Hold
man.
on, kill the
our-
mics.
on our
Oh, no,
staff.
come on.
Robin,
yeah,
can you
go
kill the
ahead.
mics
What
once? What?
Oh.
Wow. That has nothing to do with this hair color.
You didn't come up with that name. That's what they call it.
Damn.
You don't have to
really?
feel bad about that. You didn't come up with that.
Yeah.
It's not
Terrible,
like me. I
man.
came up
Well,
with.
also
I
we-
came up with Jabba the Slut.
We were
That's on me.
We were janitors in D.C.
You could not call him that, right?
No.
Yeah,
But we were janitors in D.C. I mean, granted, literally, there's 2 white guys on the staff. I'm one of them.
I'm guessing neither of you called him that.
No. Well, the other white guy just never, he would read a book on lunch break and not play cards. So he was a racist. Everybody hated him. I jumped
Obviously,
in
he's
on
a
that.
racist.
Yeah. But the dude, he looked different, but also he insisted on being a Cowboys fan in D.C.
That's a horrible name, dude.
So, right. That's why he got called that all the time.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did
Yeah.
you call him? Hey, Reggie.
Yeah, I just called him by his name.
Yes.
I just always laughed because, I mean, they gave him the hardest time.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, right. And I mean, it is funny. So you just when you see red hair and freckles, you expect somebody of my complexion.
Absolutely. Like, wait a minute, you black and got red hair? Damn. All right, match.
So, all right, so Steph Curry is very good at basketball. Steph Curry has some endorsements. Over the years, some people made fun of him for some of his white Under Armour shoes. They just look like dad shoes.
Yeah.
And they come with bike shorts and a mid-calf sock. So one thing I respect about him, you know those mid-calf socks.
That's cracking me.
So one thing I respect about him was, I guess, other, whether it's Gatorade or Powerade or whatever, they tried to, like, get him to sign up, and he said, no, like, I'm going to sign with Brita because I'm really all about just drinking water.
I'm all about that water, dog.
Right. He's all about the water. So Brita made a new commercial with him and this YouTube star named Rudy. Basically, look, the commercial's just annoying as crap. If you haven't heard it yet, take a listen.
First name Stephen, last name Curry. He came into my life, now everything is less blurry. Oh, Steph Curry, Steph
What is
Curry, Curry,
this?
Steph, helping me out, turning me into the best. First name Stephen, last name Curry. He came into my life, now everything is less blurry. Oh, Steph
Wow.
Curry, Steph Curry, Steph, helping me out, turning me into the best.
So the whole idea
Is to sell water?
right? And then Steph Curry's like a life coach to this kid now and helping him out.
Stop singing.
Yeah.
My first advice is your life coach, don't ever make another ad.
They have a whole 3-minute video on it. It's on the Men's Room Facebook page if you want to check it out. That's
weird.
Yeah, I saw this week. To their credit, I get maybe what they're trying to do.
Just do something so bizarre and off the wall that it's memorable.
Yeah, and it's just weird because it looks like a low grade kind of video. Like they're just in his kitchen and the kid goes to eat a piece of pizza and like Steph smacks it out of his hand, like eat an apple.
Yeah, you know what?
Man,
I get the kitschiness of it.
Maybe. The song wasn't bad enough to be good, and it certainly was not good enough to be good.
Think of the unicorn filling the cone with unicorn poop when they're selling the squatta potty. Think more Old Spice. Think more just ridiculous.
Yeah,
kinda,
okay,
you know
all
what I'm
right.
saying? Like
Maybe
in that
I need to
vein,
see it.
That's
All
what
right.
I'm thinking too. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know.
No, I'm with you, Miles. I think they gotta know, right?
Yes.
I don't. This will not help him a ton on Twitter.
Well,
Mr.
the
Curry.
idea is to remember it. And if it's just a plain commercial about water, then you're not going to remember it. It's like the, what Dilly Dilly.
Yep.
Right.
Dilly.
I mean, basically, it's just Dilly Dilly.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. And that's enough because you know what the hell they're talking about.
Well, I mean, even back in the day, remember who was it? Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, right? That had the commercial where they were throwing stuff.
Oh, if,
for
McDonald's, wasn't
right?
it? Yeah.
They were like throwing it into outer space, and then it was coming back, and they could hit all the shots. Like you're right, a memorable commercial. I mean, when I was a kid, we used to love the Miller Lite commercials. Is it less filling? Tastes
It's
great.
great. Yeah.
Less filling. So you're right. Maybe that's what they're doing. Either way, that's a very annoying ear.
Very, very annoying. And
Watch
it is
their
stuck in
sales
my
will
head.
spike by like 20% or something.
You know, I feel like now people are going back to tap water.
Well, people are going to raw water, which is a really, really, really bad idea. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a pitcher of water in your refrigerator. Just encourage you to drink more water because it's cold. It's there. It's ready. If you like cold water.
Yeah, I'm with you. That is a good way. And I mean, everybody has.
I hate people who like lukewarm water. You know, you go to one of those restaurants and you sit down at
Or
the
it's
table,
room temperature,
and it's
right.
going to be a great night. And you look, and there's a milk jug from 1935 that's been washed out, and now it's holding the water
artisan, Miles.
that you're drinking in its room temperature. And I know that that's the European way. I don't care. I'm not European. I want ice. I want cold water.
I feel like restaurants are
maybe a
getting
lemon
away.
wedge.
They're getting away with everything right now. If you just say artisan, like I said. So look, we're not going to fill your water. We don't care if you have cold water. This is lukewarm, goddamn tap that we filled up in a utility sink next to the bar, and we're signaling like we're doing you a favor. When we say artisan for any of our food, that means we have not hired anyone good enough to plate it right. Right? So like I said with the pizza, artisan pizza, so it's not round.
You know what's going to be next?
You can't hire someone to make a round frickin' pizza. Call it artisan, and suddenly, when you call it artisan pizza, it doesn't matter that there's too much sauce, not enough cheese, and it looks like a kid made it. It's artisan, so it's okay. Like, man, it's not okay. Come on. Your lukewarm water and your non-round pizza. Sons of bitches.
Man, I never thought about it that way. I just drink the regular warm water.
I think it sucks.
I just hate it when that cup sits on your table and it's all damp.
The cup?
You know, like if you get a glass of water, maybe you're drinking a bunch of beer and you're not smart enough to drink your water right away and it's got ice in it, then it starts sweating.
I like ice, man. I like a cold glass of water.
All right, the other big thing going on in the news, obviously Alabama beat up on Georgia to win a national title. And actually, one of the best games you're going to see for college football in a national title game. It reminds me a little bit of, what was that, Texas, USC. I want to say that's Vince Young's senior year.
Oh, yeah.
When he strides into the end zone and wins that. So this one goes to overtime. What you need to know is that Georgia gets the ball first. Shout out to their kicker for rocking those rec specs, man.
And doing a great job of getting their pass game this game. He kicked, he did a great job. Remember, he kicked that field goal at halftime.
Yeah,
last week, and get them back in the game.
Yeah, but his glasses, they were. I love seeing the dude. I'm like, you look like the nerdiest dude ever, but there's something about it that's awesome.
Right, so he bangs home a 51-yard field goal, right, for the first overtime to put Georgia up 3. Alabama, of course, it's college, so you both get the ball.
Right.
Alabama comes out, has a massive sack. It doesn't look like they're going anywhere, and then Alabama does what Alabama does.
Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins! The Crimson Tide will not be denied. Alabama breaks Georgia Hearts. National championship.
I mean, if you don't live in Alabama, does anybody care?
No, because they're used to it's the fifth.
Does
time
anyone
in
care
9
about
seasons.
Alabama?
Yeah.
No. They're no one else's favorite team other than if you're in Alabama, and half those people like Auburn.
And no offense to Alabama, but Alabama, it's like the Patriots. Like, you've won so many titles in such a small amount of time. It's just kind of like, all right.
Could you imagine?
You know what I mean?
having,
Like, they're good.
look,
We get it. It's understood. But like, it's Alabama.
Whatever your job is, whatever you do for a living, all right? Let's just say that you own a restaurant.
Okay.
Well, now you're also the health inspector.
Cold water or warm water?
Cold,
You get
or
cold
warm.
water.
You can have either one in my restaurant.
But your pizzas will be round.
Yeah.
Goddammit.
But if anything goes wrong, I am the one who governs this.
Sure.
It's my responsibility. So it doesn't matter if I am making pizzas. It doesn't matter. Whatever the deal is, I'm in charge, and I am the judge and jury. So with the NCAA, I am convinced there's no way they can possibly police that many schools. They are a self-policing body.
Right.
They investigate themselves. So with Alabama, I am sure that a lot of those guys, I mean, let's face it, man, you either have the ability with boosters to...
Of course.
It's just an unfair... It's just an unfair...
I think, too, sometimes, man, like, programs just get so good. Like, if you're a college kid, like, that's where you want to go.
There's a
Well, it's the
reason
other
that,
thing,
that
but a
Rick
lot of
Pitino
kids-
was out. You know what I mean? Like, it was a cheat.
Maybe, but the
whole
is-
thing was a cheat.
But the kids still
But Rick
commit to
Pitino-
The thing is, though,
Yeah.
but the kids that play there are still good. And however it is you get them, and look, we know the NCAA is as dirty
But it's
as anything
how
can
you
be.
get them. That's the
Right.
dirty part.
But
Not how they play, how you get them.
But they still want to commit to go there because, look, I don't care who you are. If you play football, if you're in high school right now, man, and Alabama says, do you want to play here? Your answer is going to be yes.
Right, and Rick Pitino never ran... He's a good coach. He never ran a program that that wins at the rate that Alabama does.
No.
Yeah,
I'm not
Alabama's
saying
ridiculous.
Alabama's never had some
Sure.
under the table stuff. I'm just saying at this point, that program is so established. You know if you're going there, you're going to you have a great shot of going to the NFL, and you're going to
win a
title.
national championship.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that helps a lot. It's those schools that show up out of nowhere, right? That's what happened with SMU years ago.
Right.
Or down at Baylor it's like all of a sudden you got real good out of nowhere. It's like, all right, what are you boys doing down there? Yeah.
Don't ask.
None of those guys are paid. That's a completely different argument, but yeah, it's amazing.
Everybody likes The Office. That was a big show.
Love
Actually,
that show.
I say that, right? You watch it. Miles, were you an Office fan?
A little bit.
All right. Robin? Nice.
Robin grunted and nodded her head. This is Robin. I'm going to quote her.
I eat meat now.
Robin like Office.
Hi, Robin. She's about to swing out of here on her vine.
Steve Carell, funny.
Pet dog, watch Office.
Nice evening.
Hi, Robin.
Me, Hercules.
Office funny.
So you liked it?
Thanks, Ted.
Are you enjoying your steak?
Good news for all you Office fans, even you grunters. Jenna Fleischer, of course, you remember her from The Office. She was Pam.
Yeah.
That was the only thing in The Office that kind of annoyed me towards the end.
What a big, long-ass love story.
Yeah, just after a while, it was like, all right. Like,
you guys want to F each other, be done with it. Like, get on with it. I mean, sorry, dude, but it's like, look, we've been, for years, right? You want to F him, he wants to F her. Like, just do it. Just F each other and be done with it, goddammit.
But somebody asked her about getting a revival of The Office. She says, quote, I think it's a great idea. I'd be honored to come back.
I'm not doing anything.
Right, I love playing Pam. I would absolutely be up for it. She did say, though, like, nobody's approached us. We don't know about doing anything yet. I mean, I think the hardest problem, honestly, is how the hell do you get Steve Carell back?
What is he doing?
Everything. He's producing movies.
Yeah.
He's writing. Yeah,
I just haven't heard from him.
Well, you know, he probably shows up in 2 or 3 movies a year, but now he's starting to do some indie stuff, right? So I think he's just enjoying acting, but I know he's behind the scenes a lot now, so he's busy. I think
Rainn Wilson, what's he doing?
He's waiting for someone to approach him to revive it. Actually, I think he writes a lot of stuff, too, that we don't know about.
I'm sure
much.
he's busy.
Yeah.
I just don't know what he's doing. I mean, all these guys, if they could be busy or they could be sitting on an island like I would be, just sitting there picking the crap out of my belly button.
Craig, what the hell is his name? I cannot think of his name.
No, it is Craig.
It's Craig. He's busy as ever. Actually, he has a new TV show. I haven't seen it. Something akin to Ghostbusters. I don't remember the show, but like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I saw the commercials.
With Adam Scott.
He's busy, yeah. He's busy doing stuff, plus he's doing movies, hosting.
I keep wanting to say Craig
shows.
Taylor, but I think that's just the dude I know.
Dude, I know too.
Right? I'm like, I don't think that's the right guy there. By the way, the national championship game last night, for the halftime performance, they have Kendrick Lamar come out. But he didn't come out. He was in a separate area.
Yeah.
Did that seem odd to anybody else?
Yeah.
Like, if he's the halftime performance, doesn't he have to do it there at halftime?
If you're going to promote
were they outside? Was that the outside stage?
He was at like a stage like next door.
But see, the whole thing, when you say halftime entertainment, and you know me, I don't care about halftime entertainment one way or another. But it's expected when you say, Timberlake's doing the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So if you go to the game and you say there's going to be halftime entertainment, I don't personally care, but a lot of people do. So the Super Bowl that Miles and I went to, Ravens played, whatever. Beyonce, halftime.
Right, you have a trump card.
But here's the thing.
You saw Beyonce.
We expected her to be in the stadium. And she was. So you go to the national championship game, I'm a ticket holder, and you say Kendrick Lamar is going to perform. If you care that he's going to be there, this is great, right? It's a national championship game, and you get to see your boy Kendrick. And they're like, oh, no. You don't get to see him. He's actually outside of the stadium. Like, that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's part of your price of admission.
And the way they built it was the first ever national championship halftime performance.
That's what they kept saying.
Like, technically, you're right. That was the first ever halftime performance. But why is he at the game?
Right. He wasn't at
the only thing I can think of, man, is that when you're on an indoor stadium, and I don't know the new Mercedes-Benz thing, I think it kind of rotates and opens up a hole. I want to say in Minnesota, you can open up the roof. But the one thing about the Super Bowl we went to is when they blew everything up, even though there was a delay in the game, man, it seemed like about half of the third quarter we were in a fog.
Right, because they're doing the fireworks. It's Beyonce,
you couldn't get the smoke out of the Superdome.
Yeah, there's nowhere for it to go.
It just kind of sat there.
I don't think they really thought about it. Right, it was weird.
If you're in an outdoor stadium, sometimes it dissipates. Sometimes it just hangs right on the field like fog, and they can't get rid of it in New England or some crap. But that was the one thing then where we were like,
it's just
we can't really see.
Man. Right, I can't see the game. Then the lights went out, so it made it better.
Yeah, you got a timeout.
Two broke girls.
Right. So
Two broke girls.
So you mentioned it earlier. Timberlake is performing at the Super Bowl, but Pink will be singing the national anthem.
Okay.
I think the bet should be: will we see Janet Jackson?
No.
Janet Jackson. By the way,
I bet you $1.
The
All right, I bet you $1.
Prop
I bet you $1.
You think she shows up?
NFL has come out and said, "Hey, we did not ban her. Janet Jackson is more than welcome."
Well, sure.
I got $1.
I don't think she shows up. I think it'd be great.
Oh, come on. We didn't see Beyonce. What did we see?
I don't know.
We saw a Destiny's Child reunion.
Oh, God, that's right. Yeah,
so, I don't know, man. When it comes to the Super Bowl, what do? They bring people together that haven't been together in a while.
Maybe she just comes out topless.
I'm just saying.
Like, I'm already there, bitch.
I'm saying if I'm JT, I'm going like, we got to have Janet.
Got to bring Janet back.
Yeah.
I don't think he cares.
I bet he does. Because he caught none of the crap. She took the world, along with every radio person, for whatever reason.
He's never, but trust me, I love Timberlake, but this is where a lot of people give Timberlake crap. He's never spoke on it, or he's never apologized.
I think the NFL treats you like the mob. You will not speak on this. And you go, okay, NFL.
That's nothing to apologize about, man.
Well,
like
he
a
ripped
boom
it off.
popped out. Right. It did, maybe apologize
but she caught
for
all
her.
the flat. That's what I'm saying. He could have just come out and been like, you know what? I ripped it off. I shouldn't have. But I'm just like, he kind of skated by. So, like, I don't think Timberlake's sitting awake at night.
Don't worry. We're going to put this on radio. We're going to fire Bubba the Love Sponge. Everyone will be happy.
It was the most amazing thing in TV, right? They effed up. There was this big controversy, and radio just
They
got
fired
hammered.
4 guys.
We were like,
Like in one
the hell do we have
We're
to do
going
with
to
that?
solve this. It's like the firemen, you know what I mean? Like, starting to drive ambulances. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they could handle it. It's a smaller van, but
Yeah.
actually they show up first anyway. They could probably do the damn job.
I remember we had a big meeting the next day, right? It was a Monday. It's the Monday after the Super Bowl. And the thing is, we watched that Super Bowl. Granted, we were at the Hustler Club. We didn't even know it had happened. So we hear about this boob
We didn't
thing,
see any nipples.
Janet Jackson, all
We were
this
the
stuff.
Hustler Club.
And we get into work. We were surrounded by nipples, so hers went unnoticed. And but we get into work, and I mean, this was a massive conference. The bosses, the brass, all the muckety-mucks are being super serious. And I remember they went through this whole thing and all these new regulations, and I was like, the F does this have to do with us? That's TV, man. That's on them.
I still remember watching it because I was sitting there with my mom, and it was like, oh, God, like, what just happened there?
I just remember standing there thinking to myself, I'm the guy now who's in a Hustler Club watching the Super Bowl.
Yay. I'm so proud of myself.
What happened? What happened?
Yeah, I had corn dogs.
Coming up, we've got your headlines. Thank you, Ted. On the way with Mike Hawk. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Texas authorities searching for wanted man with a social security number tattooed on his face, and that would be his. Meanwhile, London couple pulls 8-year-olds from school to see the world at their own slow pace. British Airways is awesome and officially removes reclining seats. Meanwhile, Ohio authorities on the lookout for a man who went to Waffle House and dropped his own beats. And New Jersey ready to ban droning under the influence. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
Our top story, we go to North Carolina where a woman arrested on a misdemeanor charge decided to turn a bad situation into a good one. I completely wrote that wrong. Seeing all I actually had it written, a good situation into a bad one. Seeing all the comments on Twitter about her mugshot from women that liked her hairstyle, she decided to take ownership and share the photo along with her business name, Braids by Shia. She's actually a hairdresser. The post already has nearly 9,000 likes, 4,500 retweets, and over 100 comments from potential clients.
A hairdresser that was arrested. Huh.
She did have nice hair.
It does, man. She braided it really nice.
One thing we know from this new world we're living in is, a mugshot can do you some good.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, it really can.
Yeah, the one
you might be dating a billionaire or whatever when you're
he's dating a billionaire's daughter now.
Right.
I'm sorry, who?
You remember
guy,
the dude
the guy with the blue eyes.
Yeah, light-skinned black dude had blue eyes.
He did something minimal. Either way.
Well, his mugshot went out, and people were like,
oh, my God.
he's dreaming.
I want to have sex with that kid.
Yeah, the hot felon. Jeremy Meeks?
I don't know.
Is that might be his name. I don't remember.
There's
but
been a
either
couple
way,
more after that, too.
But the guy got a modeling contract when he got out of prison. And here's the thing,
Damn.
Mike. The dude's in prison, all right? And again, it was a fairly minor offense. Not like he's in there for 20 years or anything. But his mugshot went out. The thing goes viral. All these chicks are melting in their pants saying he's really, really hot. So, and credit to the modeling agency, they get it and go like, you know what, man? If everyone already finds him attractive, let's give this mofo a job. So here's the guy. He goes to prison, and because he got booked and his mugshot was made public, he ends up getting a modeling career, and he's now, as Miles said, dating a billionaire's daughter.
Girl in California was in a gang, and she got busted for whatever she got busted for, and now she signed a modeling contract.
Well, Around the world, speaking of mugshots, one from Houston is making headlines. The man is wanted in connection with a handful of armed robberies in the area, so his mugshot was publicly posted, and now people are taking interest in his forehead tattoo of his social security number.
How stupid can you be?
That means there's absolutely nothing worth stealing from his identity.
Yeah, that is
like you couldn't even get a credit card. They would turn you down. You couldn't even go to the bank, get a checking account, like whatever. That number is as worthless as the tattoo.
Yeah.
The tattoo's worth more.
British Airways is the latest in a growing number of airlines making a change to their crafts.
Yes.
The airline has heard the public cries and has decided that it will begin to cycle out the ability to recline chairs in their aircraft.
Thank you.
They will instead set each of their seats to a gentle recline to ensure that passengers enjoy a comfortable flight, which I'm happy about.
If they would have got rid of daylight savings time, they would have hit all the bummers.
Can we get to that next year?
Yeah, right. Come on, British Airways.
It just my only thing. I understand that you're kind of a douche if you recline your seat back, but it's not that much.
It is anymore. That's the problem, man.
Right, they made the seats
They're bunching
smaller.
them all together.
Yeah.
It's a big problem when you can't even put your tray down and eat because your tray's in your stomach. And I'm not talking about having a bowling over stomach. I'm talking about it's in your gut. It's in your ribs.
Okay.
Oh, trust me. Last flight I was on, I was like, this is unbelievable. And the guy in front of me reclined his seat. I'm like, you jackass. I hate you. I frickin' hate you.
Just make it miserable.
And it was a 15-year-old kid, and I'm like, I still hate you.
Right, I mean, that's the problem, right? When they put those in there was room for it.
Well, that's the thing. They keep just stuffing more and more and more and more seats. It's like, right, you could recline
Good for British
before it
Airways.
didn't bother you.
Good. And I'm assuming if you're on a British Airways flight, you're either flying across the Atlantic or you're going 2 hours to Paris.
Yeah.
It's not like it's taking forever.
Yeah. But still, those seats are always sitting straight up and down. And
Yeah, it's called a seat. It's a freaking chair.
Well, no, it's got to recline at least a little bit. It's killing my
Mike,
back.
Mike, you didn't buy a bed. You bought a seat.
That's every headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you. We appreciate it there, Mike. All right, coming up, we'll see you next time for the return of Who Sucks Less? Ask the Men's Room Profile this, and we'll drink a toast once again with a shout of the day.
Yes, indeed. It is all true. All right, we are out of here. We return tomorrow, so until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.